KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227, or extension 233. For more information, go to knon.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.
Yo, what's up? I'ma kick it with the line, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it like that? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Chicken for tea is simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying? What?
It's time.
Yep.
Time to make the change.
Here we go.
We are the people who can do it.
Oh yeah.
It's time. Time to make the change. We are the people who can do it.
Yo, Mob, kick it for me one time.
What is the world coming to? Seems like everyone is running from the truth.
We'd like to say good morning. This is Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host, each and every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on KNON 89.3 FM, the voice of the people. Yes, I'm glad to be back. This time last week, I'd like to thank Imani Fowler for sitting in for me last week. We were in Washington at the March on Washington. We'll talk about that later on in the program, but it was a great event in Washington, D.C., commemorating. Really wasn't commemorating, it was just basically saying we're going to keep on pushing for those things that were being pushed for in 50 years ago. And it's sad that we still got that same fight before us. Voting, jobs, and those who would rescind the Civil Rights Act, do many heinous things. Some of that same attitude is still alive here in America in 2013. That was here 50 years ago in 1963. I tell you what, y'all get your pen and paper out because our job line is about to come up in just a moment with Mr. Greg Barber. And get your pen and paper out if you want to be gainfully employed. Mr. Barber has some jobs for you. And he's going to get us right now. Greg, are you there?
Yes, Reverend Barnett.
Fine. How are you this morning?
Doing well.
Fine. Did you see the March on Washington last Saturday?
I saw it up close and personal. I was there. I called in while en route to the march.
Oh, is that right?
Right.
Okay, you were there.
I was there.
Okay. Did you get inside the fence?
I was up at the front of the reflecting pool up on the right.
Up on the right. Where were you behind the camera group?
Right.
Yeah. They didn't have it set off, fixed up like they did in '63. A lot of people up there on the monument and different things, and they tell me they showed a lot of vacant seats somewhere up front. I don't know, but it was a great event. And have you heard how many people they said was there?
By the reports I've heard up to 250,000 or maybe a little more than that. So 250,000.
All right. Good.
Now I couldn't tell because you had the reflecting pool in between. But everywhere I saw, you saw nothing but people. It was crowds of people.
Oh, I think it was far more than that, what they're saying. Because around the reflecting pool, it went all the way back even farther than the Washington Monument people were there. But more people was outside under the trees.
Right.
Than around the reflecting pool.
That's right.
And when they started to march going up, when they finally got out and came going up Independence Avenue, my God, it was so many people on the side of the road, and then those that were in the march. It was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal thing. It was great.
It was a great event, much needed event, and I'm miffed. Well, I'm not miffed that some of the comments that have come behind the event, and that is, that Martin Luther King himself said, "Where there is no individual, there can be no great social gain without individual pain." In other words, somebody has to give it up for the home team.
That's right.
Someone has to sacrifice. Someone has to go out there and get it done. And people showed up in droves, as they have. And remember that I was there in 1994, the Million Man March. I was there in 2004, the Millions More Movement, and there at both inaugurations, 08 and 12.
Right.
And all people showed up in droves. People came.
The most I've seen there was the 08 inaugural. We were, my wife and I, Eddie Bernice Johnson always have gotten me tickets to go in. I was in the first section near the Capitol building, and it's sort of, you're going up on a hill, and when you look back from the Capitol building all the way back to the Lincoln Memorial, it was just people, and then go over to the right, all the way to those office buildings on the right, and all the way to the office buildings on the left. The whole area, not just the mall, the whole area is just a sea of people. And then they tell me the same thing was on the parade route, because if you went to the inauguration, you weren't going to be able to get in to see the parade. So now that the inauguration, 09. That inauguration that's the most I've seen in Washington in my life. The 13 inauguration, the one this year, it was a lot of people there, but it wasn't as big as 09, but it still was a lot of people there. There were a lot of people. Those inaugurations were tremendous.
I'll tell you what differentiated the two, and I'll give you the difference. In 94, there were no security checkpoints. There wasn't any separation of the peoples beside the street. They didn't have you in sections. It was all open. There were no metal detectors. There were no entry points. It was all open, and that went off without incident. Now
with this one, this is why the crowd didn't look like it should have looked. They had all kind of security. They had all kind of checks, and they had guards everywhere. You couldn't go in here. You couldn't go in there. So if you took a picture of it on TV, you could not tell by looking how many people were really there.
That's correct.
Yeah.
But it's still, it's one of those things, and history happens every day, Reverend Barnett. And I made up in my mind that this was not while it's going on and I'm present, I wasn't going to have to read about it. Years later, when folk ask, well, what happened on that day? I wonder I don't have to go to a book and tell them what
you can tell them you were there.
I was there. I remember. History happens every day. It happens every day, and oftentimes we miss out on it. Why? Because we refuse to get active. We refuse to participate. Just like that happened this past weekend. It happened in 63 that same way, and folks missed out. Why? Because they just refused to go. They didn't get up and go.
Yeah. How long did you stay?
We left out Sunday morning. Okay. We got in on Friday, and we left out at Sunday morning.
Well, I couldn't get a plane. I couldn't get a flight out of here Sunday, so I had to end up flying back in here on Monday. See, the only person I saw from Dallas was Kevin Felder.
Did you?
Yeah. Did you see him?
No, I know him, but I didn't see him.
No, Kevin Felder was the only person I saw from Dallas. Now, and I was kind of getting disappointed until I saw him, because I was saying to myself, my God, there's a mass of people that see people, and you don't see anybody from Dallas that you know.
Well, we drove, and going, we saw very few, and I was kind of disappointed. But coming back, we saw quite a few Texas plates, quite a few folks with Texas plates coming back. Going, we didn't see that many, but coming back, we saw quite a few.
Good. Yeah, I'm glad of that. All right.
It was a great event, one to behold and one for the history book. One for the history book. And once again, to send a message that we as a people, as the majority, have been the majority in those 4 events, have come together massively in one place at one time. And we left it out, no incidents, no events of violence.
Oh, man, the spirit was so good there, man. It was a loving spirit there, man. No. It definitely, you really didn't even think in the vein of an incident. It was so there.
No.
Now, I'm going to say this. Hats off. There were a lot of white people there.
There were. No, this was
ain't
not
no use in lying about it, boy. It was a lot of
were.
white people. I saw Hispanic people. I saw Asian people. They were there.
Yes, they were there.
They were there.
Okay.
So it looked like America.
Right.
That march looked like America. That rally looked like America. It didn't look like a Tea Party march where just one particular group you're going to see there. But it looked like America. It was a beautiful thing. And it took me back when I was almost 16 years old when the first March on Washington came. We watched it in my 4th grade teacher's yard. Her husband there, he was from Kansas City. He'd drive down to her in my hometown, and we were watching. We were out there playing dominoes. We were getting ready to go to football practice, and playing dominoes, and he had the TV out in his yard, and we watched the March on Washington. And you saw that mass of people. They said 250,000. It was probably 400,000 there, because they wheeled down the numbers. When we saw that, I had it imprinted in me then that was going to be a historical event.
Right.
And it turned out of it, we got a civil rights bill. You got motivated to get a voting rights bill in 65, civil rights 64, and open housing came in 67. But they didn't stop with the March on Washington.
No.
The March on Washington was just a motivating tool. It was a gas station. It was a service station to get fired up, to go out and really go and do things. Now, I hope this serves to fire us up, to keep us moving, to get us moving. It was not an end product. It was a rally to come, to move forward. And the march on last Saturday on the 24th was a march of motivation. It was not. Nobody talked about just commemoration. They're talking about moving forward from this point on, because we're facing many of the same problems. Stop and frisk. We're facing the problems of people trying to steal your right to vote, facing the same problem of unemployment. Same things, some of the same things that was back in 63, we're facing them today.
Right.
So I hope this serves just to boost us off. And I tell you what, we about to take up this whole segment. Any jobs out there, people want to hear some jobs.
This morning on SAT Job Line Solutions, State Job Line brought to you every Saturday morning during church information and open forum here on Knon 89.3, the voice of the people. This morning on the job line, we have Napa Warehouse is looking for warehouse associates. They're asking you to apply online at www.jobs.genpt.com. Once again, that web address is www.jobs.genpt.com. LabCorp is looking for warehouse associates. They're asking you to apply online at www.labcorpcareers, that's LabCorpcareers.com. Once again, that's www.labcorpcareers.com. Priority Wire and Cable is looking for warehouse associates. They're asking you to apply online at www.app1.com. Once again, that's Priority Wire and Cable is looking for warehouse associates. They're asking you to apply online at www.app1, spelled out, ONE.com. Anderson's Furniture is looking for warehouse associates. They're asking you to email your resume to Kimber at andersonsfurniture.com. Once again, that Anderson's Furniture is looking for warehouse associates. They're asking you to email your resume to Kimber, Kimber, at Andersons, AndersonsFurnitures.com. Once again, that's Kimber at AndersonsFurniture.com. If you are a child-loving, patient, and energetic individual and would like to work in a daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. Once again, if you are a child-loving, patient, and energetic individual and would like to work in a daycare setting, the number for inquiry is 972-290-4995. If you are a person affected by addiction and need assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make the transition back into mainstream society and need assistance with job searches, the number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Once again, if you are a person affected by addiction and needs assistance with your recovery efforts, or an ex-offender trying to make the transition back into mainstream society and need assistance with job search, the number for inquiry is 214-634-2722. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. Let me repeat that. Today is a good day if you're looking for a job to find one. The late, great Bob Marley once said, get up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Reverend Miles Sharpton said this wasn't the end, just the beginning. He is kicking off a nationwide tour, first starting off in North Carolina. That fight is going to come right here in Texas. Your Attorney General, Eric Holder, has filed suit against the voter ID bill here in Texas. We need to get on board. We need to support that, and we need to be ready to rally. That was not the end. That was only the beginning. One brief shout-out, Reverend Barnett. I'd like to give a shout-out to my relatives. We are commemorating. This is 30 years going. The James Nickelberry family reunion held in Marietta, Texas, every Labor Day weekend. It is taking place this weekend. I'd like to give a shout-out to all of those. All are welcome. It is straight down I-30 in Marietta, Texas, about 30 miles north of Mount Pleasant. The James Nickelberry family reunion. This is the 30th anniversary. It has been going on beyond 30, but we have formally done this for 30 years, and we are celebrating, we are commemorating, and it will be fun and festive for all of those who participate. So all are welcome, and want to give a shout-out to those en route and those that are there. And with that, we bring our SAT job.
Before you leave, Greg, before you leave, it was sad to see. I felt so bad. They almost made me ashamed to be from Texas because people were talking about Texas. Okay, North Carolina, one story, but Texas, the second largest state in the union, the second largest state geographically and numerically, population. Right. And to be called in the same breath with Alabama, Mississippi, by the way some of our politicians have acted, it's sad. It's a war. People tell me, y'all get your hat, hold your hats on, because the fight is coming to Texas. Yeah. I got to take a short break. But thank you for the job line. Thank you, great job as always. But to be called New Alabama and Mississippi is sad. All right, we'll talk about it more, and we'll take your calls. 972-647-1893 when we get back. 972-647-1893. We'll be right back.
Knon thanks you for your pledge to our recent pledge drive. Now is the time to make your pledge count. Knon has a new address to send your pledge to. Knon no longer uses a P.O. box. So send your pledge to Knon, 5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200, Dallas, Texas, 75235. And if you missed our pledge drive, you can still support community radio by pledging on the web at knon.org. Your pledge only counts if you pay it. Remember, don't use the P.O. box. Send that pledge to Knon, 5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200 in Dallas, 75235. Be sure to put the name of the show you are supporting on the check, money order, or envelope. Questions about Knon Pledge Drive? Call 214-828-9500, extension 234.
When they're gone for good. This is Scott from Knon's Texas Blues Radio telling you don't miss out on some great blues. Knon's Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 Blues CD. It's a CD put together by real blues fans for real blues fans like you. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 features great local blues from Michael J. and the Paul Bird Band, JJ and the Detonators, the Chris Watson Band, the Two Tones, Rough Cut Blues Band, Jeff Stone with Charlie Love, Dave Millsap, Sirloin and the Ass-Kicking Machine, Tutu Jones, Blues Boy Bo, Buddy Whittington, Andrea Dawson, Kirkland James, Sonny Colley, and Johnny Red and the Roosters. Get a copy now at Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, Record Town in Fort Worth, and in Dallas at Bill's Records. This is a Dallas Blues collector's item. A very limited amount of vinyl copies can be found at Forever Young Records, the sponsor of this great blues project. CD downloads are available at cdbaby.com. Whether you get it as a download, on vinyl, or on CD, all the proceeds will benefit KNON. For more info on Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, visit knon.org.
All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. We each and every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on KNON 89.3 FM, the voice of the people. Got a lot of things to talk about. Should America go to war? Should America attack Syria? Should we? Should we do that? Well, and we're also going to talk a little bit about relationships. Why are there so many single black women? What can we do to remedy that situation? We want to hear calls on that. And also the March on Washington, if you want to talk about that. What's going to happen? Believe me, the masses, civil rights movement and everything what we saw back in the 60s and 50s that was in Alabama, Mississippi, and other places like that. Believe it or not, it's supposed to come to Texas. Texas haven't dealt with its backwards ways. Going to have to deal with it. It's sad that we are now being put down as low as those other states. But when you look at things that have been happening over the years, I guess we've always been there. We always have had more children without insurance than any other state. Texas probably play the least amount of assistance for people. Texas have always been really at the bottom of the scale in education. Just the nation, the world, its eyes is opening to Texas and how we need to improve this state. Here's the richest state in the union, but have many of the poorest people. Many of the poorest people. Is something wrong? Something sad? Something is bad? Something's going on, and it's about the spotlight is about to be put on Texas, and I guess I've had some people in the studio say most Texans is proud of it. I'm not proud of it. I'm ashamed of it. Ashamed to be from such a great state, but have all of these backwards ways. It's sad. It's sad. You can call me at 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 3 and say good morning to Michael. All righty. Good morning, Michael.
Yes, sir. How you doing this morning?
Fine. How are you?
I think I'll be all right. Can you be patient with me for a minute?
I'm listening.
And I'm not going to hang up. I'm going to answer any questions that you have. And I want to know what happened to change, real change you can believe in. Okay, now, I got a couple more statements to make. That was a question. Then my statement is, I think that Obama is doing the Bush policies. Okay, now, one more thing. I think another war in Syria is bad. It looks like they're trying to trap our American troops into a situation where they can't get out of. We've had a lot of Americans dead already. When are we going to stop these wars?
All right, now. You said what happened to change that we can believe in?
Yes,
we ourselves let our guard down. We were fighting. But some way, somehow, we got a couple of pennies, a few of us got a couple of pennies to rub together. We decided, we've arrived. And the stark reality is just come back to stare us in the face that we have not arrived. We still have to stay vigilant, stay fighting, stay together for our freedom. It's an ongoing fight, and it will always be that way. We can never sit back and rest on our laurels and say, we've made it over. That's just not going to happen in America. It's not going to happen on this planet. So people must always be vigilant for their freedom.
Okay, can I make another statement?
All right.
I want to know why, our president will make a firm stand and try to change things for everybody, because he ought to be able to see that they don't like him. They don't want him to do anything. He's beginning to look like Sean Hannity and Rush Limbaugh because he's trying to be apologetic and political correct to people, and he knows what he's trying to do is wrong. When you know you're doing something wrong, like, two men marrying each other is wrong. And you know that's against God, and he sounds like a preacher every time he talks. You know that's wrong, right?
Well,
hello.
Yeah. Let me say this.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that he's tried to do, he's met a stiff resistance from those on the far right.
When he signed a punk bill, don't you think that's why they making him look like a punk? Because he signed a punk bill.
What bill has he signed?
He signed it's okay for
No, he hasn't. Those are states' rights.
Oh, Lord, check it out.
Those are states' rights. Those are states' rights. That's done state by state. The federal government has nothing to do with marriage. When you got married, that preacher said, the power invested in me by the state or whatever state you were in is how you get married. You don't get married under a federal law. He signed nothing. He spoke in favor of gay rights and gay marriage. He spoke because he's president and he feels like that every American should be free. Now, if people are offended by that, I understand that. I understand that's your religious right. That's your opportunity to speak out. I gave you the opportunity. But that is not a federal law. There is no federal law. There are still some states that says it can't happen. So that's a state's right. On your third one, Syria. I disagree with him on Syria. If he strikes Syria, I disagree. I think we are war weary. I think the country is war weary. We've been in the conflicts 10, 11, 12 years now. And people are tired. We've had too many other opportunities to stand up for freedom in Africa and different nations where people have been just beaten and driven and mobbed and we didn't go. I realize that we only want to go places where we feel like we have an interest. We know Syria is too close to the Middle East, too close to the oil, too close to Israel, and we war weary. But I disagree with his advisors. I disagree with those. Now and I don't say I disagree with him on everything, but this is one issue I disagree with the president on, that we should not strike Israel. No, at no time. Not Israel, I'm sorry, Syria. We should not send cruise missiles. We need that money. It would end up being billions of dollars. Couldn't we not use that money for infrastructure in America? Could we not use that money for education, helping children with grants and different things to go to college? Could we not use to build new schools in the community? But we're going to take those billions of dollars that we would shoot just to send a message over there in Syria. There should be other ways, diplomatic ways to handle this. And so this one I disagree with the president on this. All right, is he gone? Is he gone? See, I don't think he's gone. All right. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. We are dealing with a whole lot of things. What do you think? Should America get involved militarily with Syria? I want to hear yours. You might disagree with me on this. You might agree with the president. But this one I disagree with the president on. No, we don't. We do not need to get involved. We do not need to get involved in Syria. I don't know about you. I'm just tired of seeing our young men and our young women go to war. I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of our tax dollars. So much we can't do in America. So many things that we need in America. We need a jobs bill. We need to spend that money rebuilding America. We don't need to take them and put them on some rockets and make got nuclear warheads to go shoot just to send a message. And we don't need to get involved in another war. I'm sorry, I have to disagree with the president on this one. 972-647-1893. Let's go to Michael on line 4, all right? Good morning, Michael.
Oh, good morning. I'm really enthusiastic to hear somebody talking some sense about not going to war in Syria. I listened to the other station on the lower end of the dial, drumming up all this patriotism for the war. I'm sorry, I'll say their name. KERA is a drum major for war.
Well,
I am so sick of hearing that station. I'll get off the subject of KERA, and I'll get back to what you're doing here. Thank you very much for telling people we do not need to go to Syria. We were lied to about Iraq. We were lied to about Libya. Libya is no better off than it was before.
It might be worse off.
Libya is worse off, and it's more of a threat to the United States now. Syria will be worse off. Iraq is worse off. Afghanistan is worse off. Vietnam has finally recovered from what the U.S. did to it, killing 3 million of its people.
Right.
I do not like the U.S. military. The U.S. military was wrong in Korea. They were wrong in Vietnam. They were wrong in Central America. They were wrong in the Philippines. The United States wants to take over the Middle East oil fields, the Khyber Pass in Afghanistan, and choke off China. Look how big and green China is. Look at all that money. Be a geopolitical person who says, hey, here's how we're going to win. Well, that didn't work for Genghis Khan, and it didn't work for a lot of other people. It's not going to work for the U.S. to implement this blueprint for the 21st century and take over the Middle East oil fields and the Khyber Pass and then rule the airs and seas and dictate terms to China. China is going to come out the moral victor. Russia is going to come out the moral victor. The United States is an immoral, depraved nation.
Do you believe that China and Russia is sitting back and laughing and hoping America attacks Syria so they can come out smelling like a rose and America have more egg on its face?
It will be the reality. They will have the higher moral ground, and the United States will have the reality of being the dog of the world.
Well, I agree with you. Very good call. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I just can't see it. What will happen? See, when those missiles are fired, they don't ask people before it hit, Are you a civilian? Are you innocent? Are you the one? Or are you one of the ones we're fighting? Now, those missiles are going to kill innocent women, innocent children, people who have nothing to do with what's going on that Assad is doing. And our violent Syria doesn't hardly even have any oil. So
it's political control of the whole area.
That's all it is.
Right. And then I understand people say, well, Syria doesn't have much oil, but it's the strategy, the blueprint for the 21st century. A long time ago, about 10 years ago, people were saying, oh, we got to watch out. They're fixing to go into Iran and Syria. And I said, nope, that'll be 10 years later, and it'll be under a Democratic president. I predicted this 10 years ago. It'll be under a Democratic president, and they're going to go for Iran and Syria. And we don't need a war with Iran. We don't need a war with Syria. We lost those other wars. We won as far as killing more people. Mm-hmm. We killed more Vietnamese people.
Well, we lost in Korea. We lost there.
We've lost every war we've been wrong in, and we've been wrong in every war since World War II. In Central America, where we spent all that money killing all those people, they're electing the Sandinistas. They're electing the FMLN. Mm-hmm. In Colombia, the FARC is going to join with the other rebel group that works with the government, and all those countries are moving very far to the left. Okay. That's what we the people want. Yes, sir.
I tell you what. I'm going to ask my producer to put you on hold. Would you give her your name and number?
My name. Yeah.
No. Give it to my producer. Don't give it to her.
All right. I'd love to give it to the. Okay. All right.
All right. Okay. Put him on hold and get his name and number. All right. They close the line 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Let's go to who's that we got? Let's go to James on line 1. Good morning, James.
Yes, good morning, Reverend Barnett. I appreciate you always, what you're doing, and I want to speak on the march and a little bit in local African-American black. Mm-hmm. One of the speakers that I had met personally in Athens, Texas, some years back about defamation of the church was Dr. C.T. Vivian.
Uh-huh.
And I interviewed him. And in one of the statements that maybe one day I'll get you a DVD of the interview that I did with Dr. Vivian and his son.
Oh, yeah. Well, now, Dr. Vivian was one of the architects of the civil rights movement. This is one of
the most far-right authority on civil rights.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
You'll hear him say that in the interview.
Mm-hmm.
And also Dr. Glover, Clarence Glover was there also. He was a host of that. So he has a VCR that I tape, maybe still, that I gave him years ago when they went to Athens, Texas. But he also was there with Dr. Vivian and Dr. Martin Luther King III. Mm-hmm. We all was there in Athens, Texas at that time. But what he said was, he spoke good about something high about Rosa Parks, but he said what Dr. King did, which a lot of people have misinterpreted Dr. King, what he did, it was a gift from God to us, a prophecy. Mm-hmm. And many of us have took it the wrong way, but Dr. Vivian said this, that what his son said this, what Dr. King did, he took the Bible and the Constitution and said, okay, America, you believe in it, prove it.
Mm-hmm.
It's basic stuff, but out here where we are, the gentleman that called in earlier speaking about President Obama saying punk and all of that, what we fail to see is there's divine rights, and then there's constitutional rights, like the Bill of Rights out here in the United States of America.
That's what a lot of people is getting mixed up. Now,
yes,
just because a person say you should have the right, as any other American have the right, if you want to marry whoever you want to marry, that should be your constitutional right. It doesn't say I believe is correct, and I believe that my Bible speaks against that. It doesn't say that. That's not the question. See, the Bible is not the Constitution of America.
There you go. Yes, sir. That's
and
right.
all Americans, and I believe this, all Americans should have full rights, all of the rights that's given in the Constitution. He would be a hypocrite, a hypocritical president, if he called for rights for some people and no rights for others. Yes, I realize a lot of people get angry about this. Oh, they get so upset about homosexuality and saying this is this and that well, you may believe that and that's your God-given right in the Bible, but
yes, sir.
To discriminate in America is putting yourselves as low as others have put us over the years, for the simple fact that the Constitution governs America, not
yes,
the
sir.
Bible, and we should learn to separate the two.
Yes, sir. And Reverend Barnett, what people need to see also is the same Jesus and God that waked them up thinking they have it all, this and a bag of chips and right. He wakes everyone up, murderers and adulterers and everything else. And what we've done is, Reverend Barnett, what would I like to see is the SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference, all the ministers in Dallas, Texas, T.D. Jakes and all these big shots with all the money, all those hypocrites and churches of that nature there, come around in the circle where you are and join in with you, and let's come together and be our brother's keeper. Let's love our neighbors and put that old mess aside. Like, we got so many people that are successful in the entertainment business, in the sports world. They got, some of their houses is bigger than Walmart and other giant warehouses and everything. And we got African-American and all other kind of races, people suffering out here. And some of us, to me, Reverend Barnett, we like to, back in the old peculiar institution, slave days, the house Negro, the yard Negro, and the field Negro, we won't even speak and help each other out. We'll look at each other and say something in our mind or something about each other, but we should be trying to help our brothers and go out on the streets of Dallas, the streets of Palestine here, all over, and let's love one another.
James, here's my whole thing, and
yes, sir.
I rarely would get off this far into the Bible, because my own feeling is most people don't understand it. Yeah. Jesus came to make us free.
Yes, sir.
He paid the price for sin, all sin, past, present, and future.
Yes,
most
sir.
people don't even understand that.
That's the bad part.
And if you say one sin, Jesus don't forgive, that means the blood of Jesus is not strong enough for that particular sin. If he cannot forgive the homosexual, he cannot forgive the adulterer, if he cannot forgive the murderer, if he that means the things they did are too heinous for the blood of Jesus.
He nailed it on the cross.
Yes, he nailed all this on the cross. He died for this. Oh man, I run past my time. Thank you for your call.
Let me say one other thing.
I got to run. I'm 3 minutes past.
He said you do err, not knowing the scripture nor the power of God.
Yeah, thank you. That's correct. All right, got to take a short break, and you can call me at 972-647-1893. We'll be right back.
Knon thanks you for your pledge to our recent pledge drive. Now is the time to make your pledge count. Knon has a new address for you to send your pledge to. Knon no longer uses a P.O. box. Send your pledge to Knon, 5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200, Dallas, Texas, 75235. If you missed our pledge drive, you can still support community radio by pledging on the web at knon.org. Your pledge only counts if you pay it. Remember, don't use the P.O. box. Send that pledge to Knon, 5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200 in Dallas, 75235. Be sure to put the name of the show you are supporting on the check or money order or the envelope. Questions about Knon Pledge Drive, 214-828-9500, extension 234.
The Creative Arts Center of Dallas, in conjunction with Big Thought, presents the Thriving Minds program, providing arts training and education to children and teens in metal arts, jewelry making, photography, and figure drawing, to name only a few. For nearly 50 years, the Creative Arts Center of Dallas has offered visual art classes to students of all ages, now offering more than 500 classes and workshops each year. Their website is creativeartscenter.org or by phone at 214-320-1275.
All right, we're back on Church Information and Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. each and every Saturday morning from 7 to 9 a.m. right here on 89.3 FM, the voice of the people. I rarely get off into theology. I rarely have to. Maybe a lot of people always tell me, you need to speak more about the Bible. You need to speak more. And I hate to do it because people have their own isms, and they have taken grace and mixed it with the law. People, let me tell you something. If you're not a Jew of that day and time, God never gave you the law. It was only for Israel. The things that you see in the Old Testament concerning punishments, concerning ordinances and different things, that was given to Israel. Jesus came to give us a new law. The law that he gives us is not written on stone. It's written in our hearts. It's a law of forgiveness. Things that we do and have done, he cast those things into the sea of forgetfulness. We seem to want to hold to the law in one hand and hold on to grace with another hand and mix the two together. The two don't mix. The law was only a schoolmaster to teach us how to live, who God is, to show us that he's a holy God. Without the law, Paul says, I didn't even know I was a sinner without the law. It taught man that he was a sinner. And he sent grace to forgive him of his sins. People, wake up and stop and start studying the word. Quit putting things that's not a part of the word of God. You never was a part of that covenant under the law. He never gave it to us. If you're not an Israelite that was born in that time, you never had it. You were born under grace, not the law. Please, let's live like we are forgiven. God is not angry with us anymore. Jesus satisfied that, his anger. He might weep because we make errors. And then things that we do, if we his children, he do things to correct us, but he's not angry. Somebody need to figure that out. And we would not have so much bigotry and hatred in America. 972-647-1893. Let's go to Reverend Crenshaw on line 3. All righty. Good morning, Rev.
Help you. I'm on the help you line, right with you.
All right.
Y'all getting along okay today?
We're doing fine.
Good. Now, President Obama, prejudice, racial, whatever prejudice you have against something, will never be abolished.
That's sad. That's sad.
It is. It will never be abolished. That's why I get these young people getting militant, getting this money together. They're going around the wrong path.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm going to say this. Mm-hmm. I have this book, you ought to see it.
Mm-hmm.
From change, C-H-A-N-G, to C-H-A-I-N-S, to change. And that's about something that, God bless, I'm getting off.
Mm-hmm. Hello? Is he gone? I thought he was making a statement. All right. All right. Okay. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. But before we get back to this, we have a situation that we have used religion to basically crucify people. Much of what you see, the ignorance that you see even in racism, was born in religion. One ought to serve the other. One should be subservient to the other. One is superior over the other. If you believe, if you are a Christian, you should realize that the blood of Jesus did away with all of that. All of that. There are no curses in Jesus. There is no birth degradation in Jesus. There are the people who were talking about curses and different things, generational curses. There are no generational curses in Jesus. All of this was forgiven. People just carry on things. They go and they make themselves a religion without really knowing the Word of God. God has forgiven us. He's forgiven us of our sins. And we need to understand that. We need to understand what the Word of God is saying to us. It was meant, the gospel plan was started from the very beginning when man fell. God had a plan to bring us back, and he brought us back and have redeemed us. But some of us want to only accept redemption for ourselves personally, and everybody else is going to hell in a handbasket. And we have too much of that going on. And much of the hatred we see in America was really born out of ill teachings, ill understanding of the Bible. Ill understanding. People don't understand the grace and the love of God. They don't understand it. And I really, when I look at the love of God and I see the situation that we in as a people that we don't have enough men and women getting together in matrimony to come together. Why do we have so many single women? Why are there so many single women? And these women are left alone, left with children in most cases. Why is it? And we don't want to criticize, condemn anything, anybody. All we want to do is fix it. What can we do? Somebody, y'all out there listening, tell me, what can I do? Tell me, give me some advice. Give me some advice, and I will listen to it. I will take heed. How can we fix this problem? Don't call and talk about, I don't need no man. I'm happy with, no, you're not. No, you're not. Once you say that and everything, but you keep on talking, the real you will come out, and I know this. So bury your pride. Let's bury your pride. One of our biggest problems is pride. Let's bury our pride and admit that you want a mate. You want somebody. Everybody wants somebody. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to have somebody to call their own. And it's a joy. It's a joy to have somebody to call your own. And you don't like going places. You got babies in your arms, baby walking behind you all around, and then you don't have the fathers. There's nobody around. You're left alone. Got to try to feed all of these mouths. This shouldn't be under grace. But let me say this. Many of our pastors, many of our preachers are at fault because they will not tell you and teach you. Many of our problems, that the reason why we have so many single women is because of racism. White men didn't do that. No, but all men have pride. If he can't find gainful employment, if he's been harassed all of his life, the only thing he has in his mind in many cases is defense. Keep him from being hurt any worse. We need to address that. We need to address it. We have a large convention in town. Yes, Oprah come in, all of these. But are we getting to the root of really a lot of our problems when we will ignore that 800-pound gorilla in the room? That's called race. Racism. It's there. It's alive and it's well. 972-647-1893 is the number to call. I know there's callers on the line. I'm going to take y'all. I'm going to take you. But these things I need to get out. Because we need to make sure that we get to the root of the problems that we have in our society, and some of it is ill will, is narrow-minded, is bigoted, and it hurts. See, it's really one of those bad situations. All right, let's go to our phone lines to line 1 to Reverend Moss. Already, good morning, Reverend Moss.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett.
Fine. How are you this morning?
Oh, I'm all right. I tried to hang around last Saturday to meet you.
Last Saturday?
Yeah.
I wasn't in town last Saturday. I was in Washington. Okay.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you got a good topic going on. But let me say this first. A lot of our problems, a lot of the black problems, the white didn't cause all of it. I've been looking at something, and I've been looking at the Christian people.
Mm-hmm.
Christians, a lot of them, not all of them, but a lot of Christians creates a lot of problems among us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they talk when they shouldn't be talking. They dig up stuff when they shouldn't be digging it up. They talk about one another when they shouldn't do that. And then, yeah, you're right. The pastors, the preachers, is not really getting down to the root of teaching our young men like we should.
No, and I'm going to challenge my friend Mr. Petrie. He had offered his ranch once a month to get young men come out there. And Robert, you listening? We're going to have to get on board with that, because I know you're a good man, and you will do things like this. You've done them before. And getting to the root, we need to teach our people about evil.
Mm-hmm.
We need to teach our people about evil. And one of the forces, the greatest forces of evil in our society is racism. Now, you don't see it on surface. No, he doesn't come in there and tell that man to impregnate that woman and walk off and leave and do all of these different things. No. He's not there.
No.
But if that young man has nothing to look for in life, he can't get a job because he's been to jail. He went to jail because he grew up in a neighborhood in a time that the only people he saw were people that was doing wrong. And there he finds himself in a situation that he seems to be boxed in and can't get out of. And there he misuse, in some cases, his woman.
Right.
All don't do it, but too many do. He gets into these situations, and there he finds himself can't afford to take care of his children. Now, I don't care how bad he is. Every man wants to take care of his children. Every man wouldn't want to live in a house and his baby is crying because they're hungry. He goes out and try to rob somebody. He gets into more trouble. He gets killed. It's just so many things.
Right.
Yes, much of it is systemic to racism. I'm telling you. Let's not bury our heads in sand and pretend that it don't exist. This is why I'm calling on my preacher brothers. Man, let's start telling the truth about this thing. Quit being afraid. Quit being scared to stand up and tell the truth, because it's happening until we get this thing straightened out. When we have 48% of our children still in poverty, we have a great number, millions of children right here in Texas that go to bed hungry every night.
That's right.
Wake up, no food. They go to school many times. Thank God for the hot lunch programs in schools, the hot breakfast and breakfast programs and daycares, different things like that. That'll be their first meal since they left that place the day before. And a lot of people don't believe that. Children are hungry. In the richest nation on earth, where we throw away more food than any other nation will eat. We throw it away. We dump it. Go around behind these restaurants or stores. You can find food just everywhere, dumped and everything. So we need to stand up and tell the truth. And I tell you what, you've gotten many whites that have woken up, have awakened. They're standing there saying the same thing. Let's wake up. Let's face this problem. We cannot solve this problem by ignoring it. There are too many who don't want to talk about it and saying get offended. No, we can only get it done if we talk about it. Am I out of time? Okay. All right. Thank you for your call. And those who are hanging on the line, just hang on. We'll take you after our break, after going into our second hour. You can call us at 972-647-1893. I'll be right back.
You are listening to KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
With its merger taking off, American Airlines' swashbuckling PR slogan proclaimed, "Two great airlines, one great future." That wasn't about its present attempt to merge with U.S. Airways, but about its 2001 takeover of TWA. Since then, Americans' honchos have relentlessly cut flights, jacked up fees, fired thousands of excellent employees, turned flying into a misery, and plunged the high-flying corporation into bankruptcy. Some great future. Now, American wants to take the same route by hooking up with U.S. Air, again proclaiming that the combination will be great. But for whom? Not for passengers. In July, Consumer Reports magazine revealed that American and U.S. Air were tied for 9th worst out of 11 big airlines in a survey of customer satisfaction. Two bad performers won't add up to a good one. Indeed, the combined entity looks to be so bad for the flying public that even the toothless antitrust watchdogs of the Justice Department are at least barking at this merger, having filed suit to block it. If the two join, only 4 giants would control nearly 90% of U.S. flights. Well, snapped the oligopolists, that's just how the free market works. Yeah, as in free to gouge. From its earliest days, this industry has been heavily subsidized and protected, and the last thing its bureaucratic profiteers want is actually having to compete with each other. They haven't become giants by being agile competitors for customer loyalty, but by dividing up the market, colluding on price hikes, cutting amenities, and slashing service. Their only area of real competition is in the annual race to see which airline CEO gets the fattest paycheck. This is Jim Hightower saying, if this merger goes through, get ready for the Big Four to merge into 2, and then the 2 becomes 1, all in the name of free market competition.
Yo, what's up? I'ma kick it with the line, y'all know. Yo, Slim, can I kick it like that? Here we go. Well, it's time to make that change. People of the world today are fading. All of us have our ups and downs. You better think about it or you won't be around. What we need is a little bit of love, sent by one from heaven up above. Chicken fatigue is simple and plain. This ain't no game, you know what I'm saying?
We're ready for our number two. And you can reach us at 972-647-1893. You can reach us. We're talking the war. Should we attack Syria? Talking about personal relationships, and the March on Washington. Any of those you like to come, if you have something that's really interesting, we'd like to talk about. And we're talking a little about the Bible this morning. We're talking about the Bible. And I'm so glad that Doc brought something up that I really didn't explain. People, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I know what you see in your book. I know what's in there. That's compiled by men. But people, that's the Old Testament. That is not the New Testament. The New Testament begins in the 2nd chapter of Acts. Jesus was born under the law. He lived under the law. He died under the law. But there is no testament till the death of the testator. As a way, you need to learn how to understand and read the Bible. You have to understand it. All the isms we see in America basically came out of the Bible. But they didn't understand the Bible. They have no understanding, no clear understanding of the Bible. They mixing law with the grace of God. Under grace, we are free. Under the law, we are all condemned because you could not live under the law. How could you live under the law? Well, the Bible says, if you keep the whole law and just offend it in one point, you're guilty of it all. So if you want to hold on to the law, although you might have had 1 million women and never touched another man or a person of your same sex, you're just as guilty as any homosexual. So we need to turn the law loose and live under grace where everybody is free that will accept Jesus Christ. All right, let's go to our phone lines. Who do we have? Who do I have next? Line 3? All right. Is that Dorothy? All right, good morning. Is this Dorothy or Dorothy? Dorothy. Good morning, Dorothy. Is Dorothy there? All right. 972-647-1893. Let's go to line 4 and say good morning to Jonah. All righty. Good morning.
Yes. Good morning.
Good morning. Are you Jonah?
Good morning. I can hear you.
Okay. Jonah?
Yes.
You out of the well?
Yes, that's me right here.
All right. Okay. Go right here, Jonah.
Yes.
Go right ahead. You're on air.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yes.
Are you listening to the phone or the radio? Listen to your telephone.
Okay, let me listen to the telephone. I was listening to the radio too.
Yeah, no, you can't. Then we have a delay on the radio. Okay? Go right ahead.
Yeah, you see, America is too advanced. I can listen to the radio. I can listen to the phone too at the same time.
No. Then you're not hearing the same thing if you listen to the radio and listen to the phone. The radio is on delay. You're listening live on the telephone. Come on, talk to me on the phone. Don't even cut your radio off.
Okay, I cut the radio off a long time ago, but actually I was calling to talk about racism.
Talk about what?
About racism, but you turned the topic now to something else. We're talking about something different.
I didn't understand. Say that word again. I didn't understand it. I'm sorry.
Racism. Race. R-A-C-E. Race.
Race. Oh, race. You can't. Okay, go right ahead.
Yes, I think the biggest problem, personally, I'm from Kenya, and I came to this country back in 1998.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, I just traveled from Kenya 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I happened to start on a different platform to see what you talk about when you're talking about racism. My baby mama is from New Orleans.
Okay.
And my other baby mama is from Dallas, Texas. Typically, that is not someone who is successful, if you think about it. Someone with 2 baby mamas, ironically, well, not ironically, but if you think about it, this is not someone who would be successful. But I have had a chance of living the American life, and I don't even consider myself Kenyan anymore. I consider myself a Texas cowboy.
A Texas cowboy?
Yeah, but I have a different view. When you talk about racism, what I see is that what the black man lacks is confidence.
Confidence?
Okay. Continue.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Were you going to say something?
No, I was listening to you, trying to see where you were going with this. I'm listening.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem is confidence. And I'll say this.
You said the biggest problem the black man have is confidence, right?
Confidence.
I agree with you. He bows his head when he talked to other, and you would think this was 60 years ago. Yes, he let people talk down to him. He let people treat him any kind of way. He goes in and spends his money with people that mistreats him. Yes, I will agree 1,000% with you. He let anybody from anywhere else. The only person he'll stand up against and speak against and get riled up with is someone who looks like him. I agree with you 1,000%.
There are 3 things that I have managed to connect together.
Mm-hmm.
And for me to connect these things together, it took me hell to connect them together. One of them, you cannot talk about racism without talking about slavery and without talking about colonialism.
Right. Mm-hmm. Slavery and colonialism, yes. Those were some of the platforms that's in racism. But we have to understand, racism is a new phenomena on earth. There never was racism until this Western world racism that started in America and Brazil and different countries like that. It never had been. If you had a slave, you had to turn the slave loose in 7 years. And once y'all were turned loose, y'all were equal. You even go in business together and do different things. Even in America, at the end of slavery, at the end of the Civil War, most whites deeply, deeply admired black people because they said black people were loyal. It was not until the later 1880s that they had to turn and change the ideals and thinking of whites toward blacks in order for white supremacy to take place in America. All righty, thank you. Thank you for your call and comment. Clears the line, 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Which one do I have next? Number one? All right, Brown. Good morning, Mr. Steen.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett.
Fine. How are you this morning?
Doing great. Glad to see you back on the job and on the front line. And I just wanted to touch on something you said a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
Said something a while ago about the war is coming to take. Because of our laws, because of the way minorities are treated here in Texas. And I think people don't really understand that, we done got so comfortable, like you said, rubbing our little pennies together. Because right here in Texas, we were number one in getting people exonerated. So that means we were number one in incarcerating people wrongfully. And we don't understand that. We don't understand the laws that they got going on here in Texas that's keeping us behind. We don't understand that the voting system. I was talking on the air last week about we need to learn how to vote. And one of my things I was trying to show people was we got prosecutors that were sending people to jail. Now they're becoming judges. Now, the war is already in Texas. We just got the cavalry coming in. When people are always talking about the Obama administration not doing anything for blacks, this voters ID thing, and when they coming into Texas and I think it's North Carolina to set the record straight, it is the Obama administration. Eric Holder them saying now.
Oh yes, believe me.
It is the Obama. You didn't get that out of the Bush administration, the Nixon administration, the Carter administration. Nobody came in and said, "Wait a minute, y'all are not letting these people vote the way that they should vote."
Here's the irony of that, Ike. Under Nixon, we can go all the way back to when all of that began to change with Lyndon Johnson. We had Nixon. We had Gerald Ford, Jimmy Carter. We had Ronald Reagan. We've had Bush 1, 41. We had Clinton. We've had Bush 43. And nobody was trying to really take away the vote that we had won in 1965 until Obama was elected president. Now voting is a problem. Look at really what's happening. There are several states that has this on the books. They're trying to get this thing passed. But in every, you had about 200 speakers there in Washington last week. Just about everyone got up. The thing they talked about, they were saying they're going to visit Justice Department. They're going to war and they're going to the streets in North Carolina. But their main big target, the big boy they're looking at coming after, is Texas. Because they know if you make a big mark in a big conservative backward state like Texas, I hate to say it because this is going worldwide. Texas is super rich, good place to come, get your job and work. Good place, best place on earth, best housing on earth. Everything, quality of life. But there are those that are trying to reverse all of that here in Texas. And if they figure if they can turn this ship, this bow around here in Texas, you can turn it anywhere. So I'm telling people, get ready. The fight is about to come to your home, right to your doorsteps here in Texas. It's coming.
Well, one other thing you said, I'm gonna get off the air, because you talked about. I like the way you tied economics, like economic development, especially in the southern sector, with jobs and all that, into racism, into the penitentiary system.
Oh yes, it's all look that
it's all
weaved together. That quilt is weaved together. It's all part of the same fabric. that we have here in America. It's all a part of the same fabric.
Well, one other thing is that, look at what's been happened since all this happened. Now, we were getting people exonerated pretty quickly here in Texas. They done shut it down. Now, you got prosecutors and ex-prosecutors riding railroad over the Innocent Project. The people that was getting people out, the public defender that was really doing a good job is out. They done got her out of Dallas. So we got some problems. I'm going to go. But God bless you and keep up the good work.
All right, thank you, Ike. Thank you. And you keep up the good work of helping your son. You're doing a great job. All right, 972-647-1893 is the number to call. Let's go to Dana on line 4. Let's go to Dana. All righty. Good morning, Dana. Is that Donna? Is this Donna?
Donna.
All right,
Yes.
Donna. Okay.
Hi, I called to talk about personal relationships.
Yes, ma'am.
And I think that a lot of young ladies get bad advice from other females in their life.
Oh, Lord have mercy, yeah. And guess what? You know what always gets me about females getting bad advice?
What?
They always take it from somebody who don't have a man.
Yes.
They don't have a man, but they going to tell you how to treat your man.
Well, yes, but I'll tell you from my own personal experience, and my parents have been married for over 44 years, and I grew up, with both of them in the house. But my mother was always very resentful because she got married very young, at 18, and she never told me about the beauty of marriage. She just said, "Don't do it. Just live your life and go on with your life, and don't get settled down too fast." And I'm almost 40, and I'm not married. And I'm just now realizing that it can be a beautiful thing. I saw my parents work
it is
together.
the most beautiful thing God put on this earth.
Yeah.
See, God built a family before he built a church. It's a wonderful thing for everybody to enjoy.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful thing. And most women have this deep down in their hearts, their desire to be married.
Yeah.
But it's a sad situation, and one of the problems is, yes, they get bad advice. She got married at 18. She felt like that was too young, and I don't know. Maybe she wanted to sow some wild oats. I don't know what the problem was, but do you have siblings?
I do, and I'm the oldest, so I think I heard most of it. Actually, they've been married for, I think, 15 and 13 years each. My sisters.
Are they girls or boys?
Girl.
They're both girls.
Girl.
Are they happy?
Well, I think so. Yeah, I mean, they have the typical problems that married people have, but they're not going anywhere.
I didn't say it would be just perfect and paradise every day. No.
No, and really, I don't, but my point is that, like, when I say a lot of women get bad advice from the other females in their life, sometimes, with a mother-daughter, the mother is trying to live her life through the daughter. Maybe my mother felt too confined, and she didn't want that for me, and so you feel like your parent is trying to live through you, and it's not exactly benefiting you. And then I have, another case in my family where the mom's not married, and the two daughters, one was, and she just gave her the worst advice. Now she's not married. She broke that up, and it just, I just think a lot of women need to go with their own heart and not listen to what other women are telling them, because the motives may not benefit them.
All right. Would you like to have a husband?
Yes, actually, I'm in a relationship with a very nice man. He's an older man, very old-fashioned, and that's what I like.
And that's what you like?
This subject came up on your show a few years ago, and I did call in because
I used to have this. In fact, we had some workshops where literally hundreds of people showed up. I don't know why I stopped that. I don't know. Francis Smith used to help me with that, and others. We'd go to different places. And we had one. There was so many cars. The cars were so many packed. I couldn't even find a place to park, and I got there about 10 minutes early.
Well, young people need the support. We need that ongoing support. Married couples do need support. It's hard. They need that. Is it available? Where do you find it?
Well, they're out there because I meet men all the time. They're looking for a nice lady to marry. Tell us something about yourself. Maybe some guy it's somebody listening right now would probably like to meet you. But you say you got a man.
Yes.
Has he proposed?
He wants to. I'm hesitant, but we are talking about that right now.
Are you sure he wants to?
Yes.
You sure?
I'm the roadblock.
Well, now, wait. What you call me for if you the roadblock?
I'm just scared. That's all.
Afraid of what?
I'm just afraid that, it might not work out, or I don't know.
Well, hey, if it don't work, you don't have anything to lose, do you? What do you have to lose?
That's true.
Huh?
But what a friend, you had a caller from Kenya, but it reminded me of a friend of mine from Congo who told me in America, men don't know how to be husbands and women don't know how to be wives. And you see that a lot too. What role did you play in a marriage?
Well, here's what. He's looking at America today. But if you go back and get the older generation, yes. Because there were some changes that was done in America that changed the whole thinking of different generations, that it did not, it was basically similar to what they have in their society today. We had this years ago, and that has been lost. And we'll talk more about it. I'm up against a break. And I thank you for your call. And call me back and tell me, let us know when are you going to say yes if he asks you?
Yes, I probably will.
Huh?
I probably will, yeah.
Probably?
Yeah. It's scary.
When is he going to propose?
I don't know.
You call me and then you the one blocking everything. All right, got to take a short break. Thank you for your call.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
We'll be right.
Knon thanks you for your pledge to our recent pledge drive. Now's the time to make your pledge count. Knon has a new address for you to send your pledge to. Knon no longer uses a P.O. box. Send your pledge to Knon, 5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200, Dallas, Texas, 75235. If you missed our pledge drive, you can still support community radio by pledging on the web at knon.org. Your pledge only counts if you pay it. Remember, don't use the P.O. box. Send that pledge to Knon, 5353 Maple Avenue, Suite 200 in Dallas, 75235. Be sure to put the name of the show you are supporting on the check or money order or the envelope. Questions about Knon Pledge Drive, 214-828-9500, extension 234.
When they're gone for good. This is Scott from Knon's Texas Blues Radio telling you don't miss out on some great blues. Knon's Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 Blues CD. It's a CD put together by real blues fans for real blues fans like you. Texas Blues Radio Volume 5 features great local blues from Michael J. and the Paul Bird Band, JJ and the Detonators, the Chris Watson Band, the Two Tones, Rough Cut Blues Band, Jeff Stone with Charlie Love, Dave Millsap, Sirloin and the Ass Kicking Machine, Tutu Jones, Blues Boy Bo, Buddy Whittington, Andrea Dawson, Kirkland James, Sonny Colley, and Johnny Red and the Roosters. Get a copy now at Forever Young Records in Grand Prairie, Record Town in Fort Worth, and in Dallas at Bill's Records. This is a Dallas Blues collector's item. A very limited amount of vinyl copies can be found at Forever Young Records, the sponsor of this great blues project. CD downloads are available at cdbaby.com. Whether you get it as a download, on vinyl, or on CD, all the proceeds will benefit KNON. For more info on Texas Blues Radio Volume 5, visit knon.org.
Recycle Revolution is a local recycling collection service and community drop-off center. They collect and accept all traditional recyclables, including paper, plastic, aluminum, cardboard, and glass, as well as TVs, computers, lamps, light bulbs, batteries, ballasts, and styrofoam. They offer collection services to apartments, condos, and businesses. They also offer a community drop-off located at 1703 Chestnut Street in Dallas. For more information, 214-566-3025 or recyclerevolutiondallas.com.
All right, we're back on Church Information Open Forum. I'm Marion Barnett, your host. And we have Annie and we have Doc in the studio producing this morning. All right, 972-647-1893 is the number to call. 972-647-1893. All righty, we have, let's go with Reverend Ron Wright. Good morning, Reverend Wright. He's on 3. Yeah. Yeah.
Good morning.
Hey, preacher, you there? Okay. All right. Go right ahead. Good morning.
Yeah, man. I've been trying to get in touch with you, trying to get an update on what some of the things that have been going on.
Yeah, man. I tried to catch you before I went to Washington. Man, I was trying. And Peter and I talked, and I never could catch up with you. I was there at your office building. Couldn't get you.
Yeah, I showed Michigan. We had some several things we had done. You know, during the course of the week while you were gone, we did a Stop the Black on Black Violence press conference the following week. The Friday that you left with several of the media showed it, several of them didn't, and I was a lot of the people. We had a great group there. As a matter of fact, I actually was one of them, but I told them don't be surprised because a lot of the media don't want to ever help us educate ourselves. But the point was that we marched and rallied for other people. And here recently, Pastor, I guess you know that the young man that was a former cheerleader for the Mavericks killed his family.
Yeah, man, I heard about that right before I left. What was that all about?
And I wondered why weren't we marching and protesting? But that is not a disparity on us until we learn each other. Nobody's going to respect us. With that being said, Storm, one of the young boys who was literally almost beat to death, has just got Children's Medical Hospital. I mean, from Baylor to Children's Medical Hospital, and this young man was literally beat to death, 14 years old. We're doing an investigation on that, Pastor, because we found out that prior to the man coming in and shooting his mother and his sister, he was on the phone calling 911 operator to send him through a 10-minute series versus sending somebody to the house. And the police never showed up till 25 minutes later or more.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, so we're investigating that. The young man, however, is surviving. He lost some of his vision. This grown man literally beat this young black kid to death. He's got some. The young man pretty much thinks he's responsible for the death of his mother and his sister. So I'm going to ask you all to keep him in prayer.
I tell you what you do, preacher. Next week. Come in, I'd say, come in the 7 o'clock hour next week, because you got so much on the table here. We're going to have to talk about this on the air, and I want everything outlined. To let the general public know what's going on with this, because, man, you're running from one thing to another. It looks like everything has fallen apart here, man. Good God Almighty.
But I want to share this here. I agree with you with the pastors. I mean, they're having a mega fest here. I think the first day Oprah Winfrey and Bishop Jakes were sitting down and talking about why there were no black fathers in the house, or how do you get why there is no black father. But we got to discuss the reason in order for me to tell you about why there isn't. Why there is no father in the house. We got to talk about the attack on the black man as well. I heard the brother from Nigeria saying things, but they don't know what you all and what we've been through in this country.
Well, he can come here and say this because we paved the road for him.
Absolutely. They don't understand.
And people from any nation everywhere, if you are a person of color and coming to America and enjoying America, you don't need to criticize the black man, because you've seen the price we paid for getting out there. And fighting to get those rights for people of color, and you are getting rewards. What they did was, send a poisons into our community they call dope, and try to stop our progress. Now, they in no way need to be criticizing, and they need to be admiring the blessings that they have, because we paid a sacrifice, and many of the friends that marched with me in the streets, they fell prey to a lot of those vices, and I thank God for giving me the grace not to fall prey to that stuff. But they owe us. and they don't need to be criticized. But come in next week.
Okay, let me say I want to say before I go. We decided when we did the Black on Black press conference that we needed to sit down amongst the black leaders, and when I said leaders, I mean these pastors in the small black churches and all the pastors, period, to come together and talk about stopping the black on black violence. And you made a statement about Robert Petrie and the ranch. That would be a great part to actually go out there and let that be where we sit down and start discussing some of these things. I'll get with you this week. I'm glad you're back. God bless you.
All right, thank you. Glad to be back. All right, that clears the line, 972-647-1893. Let's go to Jean on line 4. All righty, good morning, Jean.
Good morning.
How are you this morning?
I'm doing great.
Great.
Yeah.
Yes.
Got your turn on your station this morning, and the topic was absolutely fantastic.
Oh, thank you.
What I'm calling about is relationships and these absent black fathers.
Okay.
And we have a lot of those, and I think a lot of the problem, and I don't like to blame the black man, but when I was this young and I got pregnant, I'm going to tell you, I got pregnant before marriage, and my parents were deceased, but my husband's parents made him marry me.
Mm-hmm.
And I thank him every day for that.
So it was his daddy that pulled out the shotgun, okay? All right.
There you go.
Shotgun with, okay? Mm-hmm.
They told him that he's going to marry me, and we stayed married for 23 years until he just passed away.
Isn't that beautiful?
That is beautiful. And we need to go back to that. We need the fathers, if their daughters get pregnant, hey, you're going to marry my daughter.
Well,
and
but you made a statement there that was so wonderful, but it's hurting us today. You said his father. That man was present.
That's right.
To make that boy do right. Back in the day, you just didn't go with a girl. The first time you go see a girl, when I was a teenager, first time you go see a girl, guess what? You wasn't going to see that girl.
There you go.
Not on that first date. When you knock on that door, guess who was going to open that door?
Father.
Her daddy was going to open it. And oh, my God, there he was. He's going to look at you. He's going to talk to you. He's going to talk crazy to you because he know what you after.
That's right.
And he was going to let you know he know what you after. And if you succeed and something happen, you better be ready to pay the full price. That doesn't happen anymore. How old are you?
I'm 62.
Yeah, I figured you were. Yeah, in that age group. Yeah, you in that age group. You in that era. I'd say that era. Probably from 55 up, something like that. And might have start slipping a lot right after that. But before then, our mores was so far different.
Right.
But now we can recapture this. We still have a lot of ladies out there. We still have a lot of ladies. We still got a lot of men out there. But we're going to have to deal with the problem because the brothers don't feel good if he doesn't have a job.
That's true.
He doesn't want to marry and take on responsibilities, and he can't feed them. First of all, he gonna catch it from her if he's unemployed, and even if he don't catch it from his own pride. And so we're going to have to do things like Reverend Wright was just talking. We're going to have to do things to really get our men and talk to our young men.
Yes.
We're going to have to challenge this system. We're going to have to get employment, full employment for people. Now, I guarantee you, if the president could get that employment bill passed and get full employment in America, if he can get people back to work, building bridges, building roads. Just our infrastructure is just destroyed in America. America is nothing like it once was. We're living on thinking about the past. There are a lot of countries that move forward past America when it comes to infrastructure. Even our airports and different things aren't as modern as other airports around the world. So we got so much that we can do to put the man back to work here in America. And I guarantee you put him back to work, you're going to see the marriage rate skyrocket.
Yes.
Yeah.
We got to get the drugs off the streets also.
Well, he'll be challenged. He'll be challenged. He'll be challenged because that was to impede our progress when they brought these drugs in, because we were moving forward. We were moving, and they did the same thing in China. And they gave them opium to stop their movement there. This is back in the 20s. Now we have got to make sure we challenge that man, and when that man has a responsibility and have a job, he feel good about himself. He can stand up and be a man. He can even roar a little bit in his house. Then maybe like that lion roars at that lioness every once in a while. And I know women don't like that, but he can roar and be a man again until but we gotta help get these people back to work and stop the annihilation of the African American male.
And I also would like to say one thing to Donna. If he asks you to marry you, young lady, go there. And stop saying no to the men because they want to be married. Hey, give them a chance.
Okay.
And you said right. If it doesn't work, you can go back home.
She has nothing to lose. Okay. All right.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Let's close the line. 972-647-1893. 972-647-1893. Who do I have on one? Let's go to Tony on one. All right. Good morning, Tony. Is Tony there? He's been waiting a long time. All right. I don't think Tony is there. 972-647-1893. Let's go. Who do we have on? Okay, let's go to line 3 and say good morning, Brother Curtis. All right. Let's bring him on. Good morning. Good morning, Curtis. How you doing?
I'm good, and you, sir?
Fine. Mm-hmm.
I got a question for you, sir. You got a lot of topics going on today, and I had a comment, but I'm just going to jump right in here and just ask you, since you went to Washington. There's a lot of people in Washington, and everybody, get together and they collaborate and talk about the feel good of racism and what we need to do. What did you get from going to Washington, and what did you bring back to empower us to do something different? Well, to do something different in our cities, and to raise the conscious level that needs to be raised in our communities.
First of all, we have to bring back an awareness. You become aware when you hear different minds, different things. We all may have good minds, but we all don't think the same thing. When you hear other opinions and hear other people say that some of the things that's in the back of your mind, they can bring it forth to the front of your mind. Explain this, deliver this to the people, praying and hopefully that you inspire somebody to do better another day. We've got to fight. You see, there are some things that go on in certain places that's the same, but it's so much tougher in certain places. Take Texas. Texas, tough state. I'm going to tell you why Texas is a tough state to get things done, because it's ultra conservative, but it's ultra rich. Mississippi, Alabama, all them, ultra conservative, but they were not rich states like Texas. They don't have the power. See, Texas don't have to, they're not high on coke. And I'm talking about KOCH. They got plenty of Koch brothers here in Texas, a whole bunch of them that will farm things that would destroy us, that's trying to turn back the hands of time on us. Now, we're going to have to deal with it and deal with it as men and women that stand up. We're going to have to stop carrying ourselves in such a downward way. We giggle and skin and grin to any other ethnic group that talk to us, but we'll turn right around and turn on each other. We need to learn to develop ourselves and be men and women with dignity and pride. Even in the poorest times, in the 60s on back, we had pride. We had things. When you march, you have a goal. Set your affections on things, on something that's going to help somebody. We need to do this. I worked in civil rights for years, but I learned to set my affections on things that was going to help somebody. Case in point, West Dallas. It's been rebuilt. You were a young boy then when I fought out there. Has it changed?
Boy, it's changed so much. I was just there last night. My brother lives there.
Well, do you remember when I was fighting out there?
Absolutely, I was amazed. I'm from West Dallas,
so you were a boy, little boy, when I was out there.
I absolutely was.
Okay.
I remember that struggle.
Case in point. Let's look at the athletic facility here in Dallas. They call it Jesse Owens, John Kincaid, Ellis Davis, all of that. Negroes hate, and I ain't talking about white folks. Negroes hate to give me credit for what I did. I thought of it. I fought. I got it built. They didn't. Many of them, when they say us, the whole time I was fighting, once it got built, they never said a word. They won't say a word about that. They even have people try to deny it. It's there. All the people that's involved, they'll tell you about it. But you just cannot allow people to discourage you. Don't get discouraged, Curtis. You got this position with the city of Dallas. You're running the roller rink for the city of Dallas there on Ledbetter. What's the address of that?
It's 2339 East Ledbetter.
Now, the city of Dallas has put you in charge. Now, I know the city of Dallas probably would love to sell that thing, and I'd love to see a black man, black woman, somebody get it, and they make the money. But they put you in charge. They say, we're going to put this on Curtis' shoulders. And so far, they tell me you're doing a great job. So, I mean, these are things that we should own, that should be in our community, that we should own. We got so many things that's going on. You're in a position now that, and you have been over the years, in a position to carry, you got this heavy burden, because I know the city probably got pressure on you. They want you to keep that thing filled with children and different things and grown folks and have parties and everything. They put a burden on your shoulders. Now, I realize that. I have sense enough to know this. They got a burden. And I'm sure you have to make a report, a financial report and everything. And I'm sure that report got to be right before you pick up your paycheck. But I know how the city of Dallas works. And
yes, sir.
It's a corporation, and you better do well. You don't own it, but you better do well. And go right ahead, Curtis.
Well, when you're speaking of that, young pastor, and one of the things, like you said, pride is one of the things that I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And even in a skating rink, you know, the kids with the way that they come to the field.
Hold up, Curtis. Put Curtis on hold. We've run way past my break time. Go put him on hold. We'll be right back with you, Curtis. All right. We'll be right back.
The Creative Arts Center of Dallas, in conjunction with Big Thought, presents the Thriving Minds program, providing arts training and education to children and teens in metal arts, jewelry making, photography, and figure drawing, to name only a few. For nearly 50 years, the Creative Arts Center of Dallas has offered visual art classes to students of all ages, now offering more than 500 classes and workshops each year. Their website is creativeartscenter.org or by phone at 214-320-1275.
In Dallas, local partners and national nonprofit Connect to Compete have made available for residents digital skills training classes. Classes include basic internet searching, internet basics, computer basics, and more. Local residents are also eligible for programs that provide assistance for internet service and computers. For more information on internet classes at local libraries, their phone number is 1-855-387-9166 or on the web at everyoneon.org. This program is in partnership with Dallas Area Libraries, Connect to Compete, and the Ad Council.
All right, we're back on our last segment, and you can call us at 972-647-1893. Right, just before I go back to my phone lines, I have some announcements I need to make here. KNON has been nominated again for the third year in a row for Dallas Observer Best Radio Station in 2013. We would like to win again for the third year in a row. Please go to DallasObserver.com or on your smartphone Observer app to register your vote for KNON Best Radio Station. You may register one vote a day until end of day September 9th, 2013. In other words, go register with the Dallas Observer and vote for KNON as the best radio station in Dallas-Fort Worth. You know we are. So come on, give us our vote. Give us our vote. And we are appreciated. We appreciate you. We are the one radio station that really appreciate the people. We appreciate you. So go, and you can do it up until September 9th, at the end of the day, on September 9th. That's DallasObserver.com. And vote for KNON. And you can use your smartphone, too. And use your Observer app to register your vote for KNON. Thank you. And we know y'all come on, vote for us to be, again, voted the best radio station in Dallas-Fort Worth. All right. We have Shoes for My Children back to school giveaway. It will be held Saturday, September 7th at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's going to be at the Deliverance Baptist Church at 2614 Ann Arbor here in the city of Dallas. Shoes for our children. Lord, she's been doing that a long time. She's great at that. Shoes for our children at the Deliverance Baptist Church that's located at 2614 Ann Arbor. If you need shoes for your children, that's going to be Saturday, September 7th. You go over there at 2614 Ann Arbor at the Deliverance Baptist Church. Also, a benefit program for Reverend John Vaughn Jr. Sunday, September 1st, at 3:30 p.m. at the Bright and Morning Star Missionary Baptist Church at 1402 Stella Street. Sylvia Pope is the pastor. All choirs, gospel soloists are invited. Guest speaker, Reverend Kenneth Mackey. For more information, call them at 903-493-3581. 903-493-3581. All righty. Let's go back to our phone line. Let's go back to which one was Curtis on line 3? All right, Curtis, are you still there?
Yes, sir. Pass me that real quick because I want to hear somebody else talk. I just want to throw something out at you real quick about. I want to give kudos out to our Councilman Dwayne Caraway for his vision in that community over in Oak Cliff.
Mm-hmm.
I know you're an historian, and back in the day they were talking about shutting down that skating rink because the kids wasn't coming over, and what kind of got it built was because there was no real recreation center or no leisure recreation for the kids.
Let's give Fahim Minka. He fought for that thing. Fahim.
Yes, he did, and I was speaking. As a matter of fact, I spoke to him on last Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
And the gentleman can still skate. I mean, he's by almost 80 years old.
He can still skate.
And he can still skate. But let me just say this. Dwayne Caraway, our councilman, said to me a couple of weeks ago, he said, Curtis, I've got to do something about these ran-down apartments around the skating rink. And when he said that to me, I didn't understand where he was coming from. But as I look at the way the kids and the way the people act in the neighborhood, it's like they have no pride or no respect for the upkeep, even for the building, the parking lot. You would be surprised, Pastor Barnett. They break in the building, they turn down the fence, they run into the fence, they walk on the parking lot and throw glass. I mean, we've got to really teach our people how to have pride about the things that they do have. I heard people talk about they need better jobs. We have an opportunity to employ about 15 workers at $9 an hour. Mm-hmm. Half of those people, and I'm not talking about my own employees, but they don't even have enough pride to come in and just hand out skates. And we hear people talking about fast food restaurants that are paying less than minimum wage. We've got to teach our people how to be stewardess good steward and stewardess of the things that they do have. The skating rink is a place that they have in their community where they can come out and enjoy the leisure of being able to skate. Don't have to go to the white man's place or the Mexican man's place. They have their own place, but they want to tear it down, Pastor Barnett. They come in with their pants hanging out their butts, being disrespectful, laying all on the girls, and this, that, and this is taught at home. And the parents, we don't see any parents, of course, but yet these are the same people that will go to Mr. Caraway or Reverend Wright and tell them, well, we need something in our neighborhood, but yet they won't police their own kids. So I think we're fighting against ourselves, and we've got to learn how to be better stewards and stewardess of the things that God has given us.
All righty. Okay, then. All right. Thank you, Curtis. All righty. Thank you for the call. All right. 972-647-1893. We got a few more minutes. 972-643-1893. All righty. 647-1893. What am I doing? Let's go to line 4 and say good morning to Imani. Amen. 972-647-1893. I got it right. All right. Good morning, Imani.
Good morning, my favorite pastor of the whole world.
Lord bless you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for doing the show last week.
Well, you know, I wouldn't say it if I didn't believe it.
Yeah. You tell me you had a great show. You had a great show.
Yes, sir. I had a great show, and I appreciate you letting me be there because we are still trying to save our children. But I'm not calling for that this morning. I want to call you and thank you because we talked. I want to thank you. Well, I know a lot of people don't ever thank you, but the last man I saw standing at that barcode over in South Dallas by yourself, and after all those other preachers started to mess, you were the last man standing boycotting that filling station, service station.
Well, there are things we have to talk about and things we're doing, and we're gonna have to get together, Imani. I tell you what, I'm running down just like Greg was going down to his family reunion. I'm heading down there. I'm going to my family reunion. I'm gonna spend some time down there today, but I got to be back tonight. I sure hate it because I got to be in my pulpit in the morning. I wasn't there last Sunday, so I won't miss 2 weeks in a row. But I need for you to call me. Say, what are you doing Labor Day?
Labor Day, I had that's open, but for you, it's open. I'm gonna cancel everything.
All right, call me Labor Day. We'll get together Labor Day.
Right.
We go over some things and we talk about some things and that's going on and putting things together. Okay?
Yes, sir. Yeah, and I want to. I know you're not on time, but I want the people to remember NOI.org. We're meeting at Tuskegee University. We're gonna make some jobs. We already started our money. We're gonna open some banks up, and we're gonna meet at Tuskegee on October the 16th, of the Million Man March Day, the anniversary, and we're gonna talk. We're gonna make ourselves some work.
Going to Tuskegee, Alabama?
Yes, sir. We're gonna meet at Tuskegee.
Okay. All right,
so
that's
October
great.
16th. So NOI.org. Listen to it, and they'll tell you more about it. But I'll call you later on. I know. And tell the family down there. I said, "Devil, listen to Imani. Tell them I said I love them and hello."
All right, I certainly will, Imani. All righty. Thank you. 972-647-1893. Let's go to Michael. All right. Good morning, Michael.
Good morning, Reverend Barnett. How are you?
Fine. How are you this morning?
Doing good. Good to hear your voice.
Well, good being here.
Been waiting to hear back from you.
Yes.
The trip up there must have been exciting, huh?
Well, yes. Anytime you see people getting together for freedom, for all people, you see, I get so really, I don't get discouraged, but I get so upset when people want to deny human rights to other individuals. Now, the people will do this sometimes thinking they're doing God a favor, when really God meant for all of his children to be free. And we sometimes we use our religion. We use certain things, what we've been taught as a child, to try to harness, bring other people into our way of thinking, and they don't live the way we think they should live. We need to discriminate if they don't look like us, if they don't act like us. No, God meant for all of us to be free, and none of us is perfect. Nobody is perfect. We've all sinned and come short of the glory of God. So it was a wonderful thing to hear everybody getting up talking about freedom and making people free, and people living, have children not going to bed hungry and doing different things, just giving us our human rights.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think the last month or so, you have put down the things we need to do in your show. You've expressed the whole potato. We will connect the dots. May I?
Go right ahead.
Okay. Well, the first thing is, we older children of God can sit around in rooms and stand in malls and on Capitol grounds and say and do as much as we want. That does do something. But Reverend Barnett, you hit the nail on the head when you said the kids need one-on-one people to talk to them these days.
That's right. That's right.
They can't. They don't learn from the TV, radio. Schools, bless their hearts, are not taking them children to heart, and each one of them giving the respect they need. But you asked about the children receiving the right message. And what it is, it's not that they're not aware, it's that we adults haven't, we're all children, we older children of God just haven't stepped up to the plate lately. And bless you, you've called us to action. You've said,
you know what?
Let's get together as older children and talk about this, and then let's just go sit with the younger children. And I think you've hit it right on the head. It's a very simple solution. Just slow down, figure something out, and then go to the youngins and let them feel your thoughts.
I'm going to talk to my good friend, Mr. Robert Petrie. We're going to bring kids out. Just he've opened his ranch to come out at least once a month and give the young men have them some fun, then lecture, talk to them, ask them, listen to them.
Yeah.
And you'd be surprised how smart young people are.
Yes, they're very kind, they're very wise. I'm someone who appears to be an elderly child of God, and these young people jump to help me and jump to talk to me, and the suits and ties around me are amazed because here I am, just a regular little flower child, and these children are interested.
And just think of how the older generation, how they despise you when you were a flower child. They talked, oh my God, they thought we were going to hell in a handbasket. See, we did have a rock festival here in Dallas.
Yeah, but Louisville.
Up there on Lake Louisville.
Yeah.
And we had everything. I went up there, everything going on. We had all the artists and everybody that they probably had at Woodstock was there in Dallas. The one in Dallas they had, I guess, about 400,000 people showed up. And they had their booths, they had their tents. We did some terrible things because of their booths. You could get marijuana at this booth. They were selling it over the counter. You could get some, what was that hallucinatory drug over there? They used to, LSD. They used to fly like a bird, jump out of windows and kill them. Everything. See, there's nothing new. We get so old and decrepit and start condemning. Our generation did its thing and the old people criticized us. So I know y'all don't like for me to tell it because I'm telling it on the old generation. It was nothing. It's nothing new under the sun. But at least they were smart enough to teach us and give us some guidance. We have got a new generation now that has a little different problem because most of us had come out, had parents, 2 family homes. A young mother can do her very best, but it's hard for her to talk to a young man. Look, I'm completely out of time. I see Workers Beat coming in.
Talking to you, and I'm glad you got to talk to Peter. You have a wonderful day.
Yeah, All right, thank you. Here come Workers Beat, and they're going to tell you I want to hear more about this corporation. Has some great corporation. They can tell you. So let's get unionized and get together. All right, that's who built this country and made the middle class. Got to get out of here. Got to run. Y'all have a wonderful, wonderful week. I'm the pastor of Heavenly Joy Church, located at Bruton and Masters. Come by and see us. Service again at 11 o'clock every Sunday morning. That's Sunday school at 9:30. Come by and worship and praise the Lord with us. Bye-bye.
KNON 89.3 FM in Dallas and Fort Worth, the voice of the people.
Business owners, tell KNON's listeners about your business. You can put your business or event on KNON. KNON currently has space available to run announcements for you. Tell KNON's listeners about your goods, services, nightclub, concert, or event. Help keep the voice of the people on the air while putting your information on the air. KNON's been named the #1 radio station in Dallas by both the Dallas Observer and D Magazine. Put your business with Dallas's #1 station. Call now for more information at 214-828-9500, extension 227 or extension 233. For more information, go to KNON.org and click on the Run Spots on KNON page. It's a great way for your business to support community radio while letting more people know about you.